So I guess we can finally start. Thank you for waiting patiently. So let's get right into it. So once again, hi everyone. I am Marcus. I am currently the Google Developer Student Club lead for Sunway University for this term. So it's very nice to see you all here with us, especially on a Saturday night. I know a lot of you probably have some plans and stuff, but yeah, I really appreciate you all being here. So welcome everyone to our Google Developer Student Club's info session for this year. It's also our first event for the new term. And in this session, we will be introducing you to what is GDSC, how you can participate, what can you get out of it, and yeah, a bunch of cool stuff. We also have some fun engagement sessions later on. So in this session, there will be two speakers, one being myself, and we also have Benjamin, who is the core team member of Google Developer Student Club, Sunway University, and the president of Sunway Tech Club, will also share a little bit more about GDSC later on. So, Sunway Tech Club X GDSC Sunway University. Basically, we have a very amazing partnership with the Google Developers ecosystem. So Google has done a lot of community initiatives to try to strengthen the developer community all around the world. So you might have heard of Google Developer Group Kuala Lumpur, for example, or Google Developer Group Cloud Kuala Lumpur. You might have heard of Google Developer Experts. So now they have Google Developer Student Clubs. And very happy to be able to bring this program to you in Sunway University. It's not a new program per se, but it is something that we are starting to work harder on from this term onwards. Yeah, so STC is partnered with the Google Developer Student Clubs program in Sunway, and we are very integrated together. You know why later. So what is Google Developer Student Clubs? And basically, what is it about? So one thing to note is that Google Developer Student Clubs is a pretty long name to say, so I will just use GDSC from now onwards. And basically, it is university-based community groups, but again, college is also welcome. So if you're from Sunway College, no worries. For students interested in Google Developer Technologies, which is also something that we'll explore a bit later. So students grow their knowledge in a peer-to-peer learning environment, basically student to student, and try to build solutions. Solutions as in software solutions, products, and things like that that can help to solve local problems in your community. So this is sort of what GDSC is about. And they also have this like vision here, which is GDSC bridges the gap between theory and practice for student developers. So if you have been a very active member of STC, you will probably see something very similar when we talk about STC's vision, which is to bridge the gap between academic education and the tech industry. So this also kind of points to why we are very close together, because our goals are aligned and we want to do the same thing. So what do we want to achieve then? These are basically our goals. Our main goal is to create impact, which is a very generous statement. But essentially what it means is we want to impact students such as you guys, and hopefully empower you guys to also impact your communities using technology. So our club is about like organizing initiatives, events, trying to share Google Tech to you guys, trying to get you guys to become good at it. And when you are equipped with the right skill set, you will be able to solve problems in your community and really help each other out to give back to them. So this is our goals, and this is a featured video that I'm just going to play from Google.
Developer student clubs are university-based communities where students learn about Google technology and use their skills to solve local problems. There are over 700 clubs all over the world. From North America to Europe, Africa, and across Asia, we encourage more students to join or start a developer student club at their university.
Some students have overcome personal barriers with the help of their GDSC community on their journey to become developers.
Cara berbuat aplikasi untuk sebagai perjalanan.
These clubs help student developers learn through hands-on workshops. They then identify challenges faced by local businesses, NGOs, and sometimes even their own universities and build real solutions for real problems.
The workshops that we had was Firebase, Actions on Google, and we're about to do ML. It's an amazing experience to learn about the impact that the technologies can provide in our local communities.
GDSC is a family, and it's not just about the programming, it's about the learning of teamwork and leadership.
A lot of villages face the problem of water, farming, floods. Maybe we can develop applications to solve this problem. Might be very ambitious for us as students to say that, but nothing is impossible. We can do it.
Developer student clubs around the world have already impacted so many students in their universities and people in their community. The future is bright for the next generation of students.
All right, so hopefully you guys are a little bit more inspired by the video now and maybe even more excited. So moving on, GDSC is actually a global community. So it is not only like something that you will find in Sunway, you will find it in universities all around the world. In Malaysia, we actually have about 16 universities that has a GDSC sort of program or club going on in their campuses as well. We do try to keep close contact with them, and potentially there might be some event collaborations coming up. So if you look at the global scale, not just in Malaysia, there is actually about 1.5K GDSC leads in more than 100 countries, which has organized events, initiatives, or activities that has reached 1 million developers. So it is a pretty big phenomenon, and it's something that you guys can be a part of, which is very nice. And there are also some success stories that we can share with you for GDSC. So these are some amazing feats from other chapters around the world. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm just going to brief through very quickly, and I will send the links in the chat. So if you guys want to read them in more in-depth later, feel free. So first we have a GDSC lead named Yara in Egypt, where she actually joined like GDSC, and she basically speed run her machine learning journey. So she's like a complete beginner in machine learning in AI, and just after participating in like a lot of GDSC sort of initiatives and obviously her own efforts from other aspects as well, she actually became a Tensorflow certified machine learning instructor, and she's curating machine learning sessions for a lot of different students right now. There's also a local team of students in Saudi Arabia that try to help small businesses to go online. So after they learn like the Google Developer Tech, they approach the smaller businesses that pretty much don't even know like what is probably a desktop. So those like tech, non-tech savvy people, right? So they try to guide them into how to use the Google Tech to build websites and how to maintain those websites so that at least they have an online presence, which is especially important during the pandemic. And in the United States, there's also a couple of students that built a web app that help the frontline workers. So they actually built an app to track the shortage of PPEs, where if the PPEs are like short of stock, protection is very important, right, during COVID. So you will actually inform like the hospital management to restock them. And finally, in the UK, you also have Jack, who grew the largest GDSC community in the world with 1.6K students in just 6 months. So pretty insane feats. So let me just very quickly send the links in the chat if you guys want to take a look. And it's not just these stories, there are a lot of other GDSC stories as well that you can search up, which is very inspiring, and it's something that our chapter would want to achieve as well. We are still considered a very new chapter, so we might not be as good as them yet, but at least we try our best. Yeah. Okay, so GDSC Sunway University is our local chapter here on campus. And chapter here basically means that it is like a branch in the campus. So there are a lot of chapters. That means there are a lot of branches in different universities. And our chapter was actually established in 2019, which is like 2 years ago, by a group of committees in Tech Club. So the Tech Club committees wanted to expand Tech Club into more avenues, and they actually found this program to be very interesting. So they brought it into Sunway, and here we are. So we share common visions and goals like the vision statement that I have showed just now, to build and grow the student tech community in Sunway. And as of now, our chapter is actually running as a program partnered with SDC. So it is not a club. We are not an official club under Student Life. Please don't go and ask Student Life how to join Google Club. You know, they will be very confused, like, huh, this club exists. So at the moment, we are still a program under Tech Club. And most of the things that we will be sharing is through Tech Club, but there might be some plans to change them in the future. So there are also quite a few past events that we have organized. Back in 2019, we have a cloud study jam for students to learn Google Cloud. We will probably be having one this year as well, this year or next year during our term. And we also had the Info Session 2020, which is a much more smaller scale session back then, because there weren't that many people who's interested in Google Tech, but I think now times have changed. A lot of Google Tech is very popular. And finally, we also have the Firebase in Action workshop in 2020. So this is the only virtual one, which is a little bit unfortunate because physical events are always better. Can't wait to go back to Makerspace and probably host an event with you guys. But for now, still sticking with virtual, just like right now. And finally, this is also our core team for this term. So you can see this is like the 3rd generation. And these are our core team members here. So if you want to connect with them on LinkedIn, feel free to search them out and send a connection request. I think all of us are very friendly, and we'll be very happy to connect with you. So another fun fact is also actually all of the core team members are SCC committees, which is basically why I say we are very integrated. We are both involved in SDC stuff and also GDSC stuff. Okay, so now that we are done with all the introduction, hopefully you guys get a good idea of what GDSC is. I do apologize if I speak a little bit too fast. But now we're going to cover something that is a bit more interesting, which is Google Developer Technologies. So one of the common questions that people always ask us is, you know, what is Google Developer Technologies? Are they like technologies that Google use or Google develop? Or are they just like search engines by Google? You know, is Python a Google Developer Technology? Those are questions that at least I get all the time. So Google Developer Technologies are actually technologies offered by Google in the form of products to build cool stuff. So cool stuff is basically anything that you want to do in a software world. So you can see that there are quite a number of them, and we have categorized them so that it's a bit easier for you to understand. The first one is Android, very popular. I think all of you should know this. And basically what you get to do with Android is you can build native mobile apps for the Android platform. And after that, we also have the Google Assistant here, which is a development platform for Google Assistant. So if you want to look into, making your OK Google Assistant more powerful, that's a platform that you can explore. And perhaps you can give the assistant more complex commands that will be able to understand and execute. After that, we also have Flutter, which is also very popular right now. You probably heard of it from friends or maybe your lecturers before. And it's also used to build apps. But the difference between Flutter and Android is specifically for the Android platform. And Flutter is actually cross-platform, which means you can use it to build apps for your mobile phones, your websites, desktops, and even some other devices. But with that said, the most popular use case for now is still mobile apps. So essentially, if you use Flutter, you can have one code base to deploy on both Android and iOS. So it depends on what you want to do. If you want to just build a very specialized app for Android, then Android is the way to go. If you want to build a more general app, maybe not as powerful, but it's cross-platform, works on iOS and Android, then Flutter is a technology that you can consider. And on the bottom right corner here, you can see Dart, which is a programming language that can be used to do a lot of things. So it's a client-optimized language for fast apps on any platform. And Dart is actually the programming language for Flutter. So Flutter is a mobile app development framework that runs on Dart. So you use Dart together with Flutter to build your apps. Yeah, hopefully that clears things up a bit. And moving on, we also have these technologies. So again, there's a lot of Google developer technologies. And this one is also pretty popular, GCP. GCP basically stands for Google Cloud Platform. And it's basically a cloud computing platform with a variety of services. So you are able to use different services to do different things. For example, if you want to host a server in the cloud to run your application, or if you want to do containerization, maybe using cloud for storage purposes, so that you don't have to buy a physical server to store all your data, which is very hard to maintain and very expensive. So this is basically cloud computing stuff. You also have Firebase, which is a backend as a service that integrates with different platforms such as your iOS or Android app and websites as well. So it's a little bit similar to cloud in here, where it offers a lot of different services, but not as powerful, I would say. So if you're looking for a more simpler backend as a service, if you're like a beginner and stuff like that, then Firebase might be easier to pick up. And Firebase has also a database which is very popular called Cloud Firestore, which you can also check out. It's a NoSQL database. Afterwards, you have Google Maps API, which is basically very straightforward. It's used to give you real-world insights and location solutions. So if you're doing like an app that requires GPS, like a food delivery app, then Maps is your go-to. And you also have Dialogflow, which is a natural language understanding platform. So it can be used to create interactive user interfaces, such as chatbots. So a lot of companies will use Dialogflow to create a chatbot on their website. So when you visit them, you'll just be talking to the bot instead of a real person. Yeah. And finally, you have these technologies as well. So under the web umbrella, you have a lot of different things that you can do to build very cool web experiences with a variety of tools. So one of the most popular tool is actually Chrome DevTools. If you do web development, you press F12 or Ctrl+Shift+I on Google Chrome all the time to do like debugging or maybe changing the CSS. Those also fall under web. And you also have Angular on the right, which is another web development framework. So frameworks are something like React, Vue, Svelte.js. So there's a lot of different frameworks, and Angular is also one of the popular ones out there. And you can use it to build UIs for all of these things over here. And moving on to the bottom, you have the more special ones. So the first one is Tensorflow, which you might have heard before if you are interested in AI and machine learning, because it's basically an open source library, completely free for those purposes, ML and AI. And you can use it to build like your machine learning models, deploy them, and things like that. Finally, you also have the Go programming language. This is like the icon. You might see their mascot before, which is like some kind of mole. Yeah, like MOLE. And you can use it to build a lot of different software as well. It's one of the most popular languages being used at Google right now. So that's basically all of the Google Developer technologies that we'll be sharing with you today. I know there's a lot to take in because we are covering basically 12 technologies, and it's a very fast like surface level run through. But don't worry, when we organize the events at time, we will definitely be more in depth into each specific technology. We not necessarily will be organizing events for everything. Like obviously, we don't have the manpower at the moment to do so. So that's something that Ben will share a bit later as to what events might be possible. So one final thing is also there are a lot of other Google Developer Tech that we didn't cover here. So this is just a small chunk of what you can do in the Google Developer ecosystem. And I think it's not really covered a lot in the academic syllabus. So it's something that you can explore more on your own, and you can gain an advantage over your peers if you know how to use some of these things. Okay, so now I'll pass the floor to Ben to share more about GDSC.
All right. Thank you so much, Marcus. So just checking, before I move on, Marcus, is it all good?
Yep, we can hear you.
All right. So laying the foundation of what GDSC is and the things that we can cover for the future. And now I'm the guy that's going to come in and tell you and basically promote GDSC and why you should join us if you're not already convinced. So to join our chapter and why you should keep up with us is because we will have free workshops on a lot of these Google Tech Developer technologies throughout our term, the ones that you just saw that Marcus presented. So that GDSC is very much centered upon is building that sort of community to be passionate in learning about technology, learning about these Google Developer technologies in particular. So one thing we can guarantee is moving forward that all of our workshops and all of our events will be free to join. So that's something very exciting. So there's really not much of a like investment for you to make in order to join us and learn from us. It's just something very chill, very relaxed, and best of all, you don't need to pay anything. All right. The second reason why you should join our chapter is because we'll have hands-on guides and code-alongs for projects using Google Developer technologies. Because it's very easy for us to tell you about what these technologies are and what they can do. And it's something entirely different learning those technologies and having a practical usage and practical like project-based learning. And that's what we want to do throughout our term as well. We'll have stuff like study jams and workshops, which is something I'll cover a bit later. And last but definitely not least is the networking opportunities you'll have by joining our chapter. So we have all of you here already who are motivated and passionate and interested about learning in Google Developer technologies. And I think one thing Google is, one thing software developers are in general are very open people who are willing to share their knowledge and share what they've learned with others. And we are building this beautiful community we have with not just our chapter, but other chapters of GDSC from other universities, maybe in Malaysia or even out of Malaysia. So these are the sort of networks we have access to where we can come together and just learn together and learn from everyone else within this network under the Google umbrella. And who knows, we may even be having some talks with some really important and really, really knowledgeable people. And yeah, this is the perfect opportunity for you to network with these people. All right, next slide. All right, so as Marcus talked about and I briefly touched on, so these are the few potential GDSC events that we'll have. So the first of which are called study jams. So study jams is pretty much like a code along, or a very, you can think of it as a very practical project-based learning where we will do like, we'll basically take it like step by step with you on how to how to use certain Google developer technologies to achieve certain projects. So it's very much us learning together and basically like a tutorial you have with your lecturer, but it's much more chill, much more relaxed with a lot less stakes. And yeah, it's just us teaching you and us learning from each other as well. And something I know that maybe a lot of you will be very interested in is potentially explore ML sessions where we will learn about AI using TensorFlow and like other technologies as well to delve deeper into the world of AI as well as learn more together, which is something that is pretty much what's going to be in the future where AI is slowly getting bigger and bigger. Like what better time to learn than now? And with the free resources and the free workshops that we have, this is the best time to learn and probably one of the best areas for you to learn where we teach you stuff outside what you learn in academics as well. All right, next. Alongside like all these practical workshops and practical events, we also have tech talks and speaker sessions where we'll invite speakers, external speakers, and very knowledgeable speakers as well to talk about different Google developer technologies and their importance and just give everyone a clearer understanding of why what we do is important or basically the more theoretical aspects of it, because it's important to understand why we need to learn certain things and what is important that we learn. And last but not least, besides the study jams as well, we'll also have hands-on workshops, very similarly to how we have them in STC. So if you joined our Python workshop, if you launch 21, so those workshops will be very similar to these, like to those in terms of format, and that's something we know that works, and we'll try to stick with it and pretty much teach you guys as much as we can as well. All right, okay, yeah. Last but not least, this is something that's probably new to some of you, but maybe some of you have heard about it before, is the solution challenge. So the solution challenge is basically an annual event, if I'm not mistaken, that is hosted by the Google developers themselves, and it's basically a hackathon, you can call it, about creating solutions to problems that tackles one of the United Nations SDG goals. So one of the 17 SDG goals will be centered around those. And we want you guys to form a team and basically join this hackathon or join this solutions challenge to create solutions to problems in the world. So in the beginning of the event, we talked a lot about how GDSC and Google in general wants us to create solutions to the problems to help our community. And the solution challenge is pretty much putting that to practice, where if you do have an idea of how you want to change the lives of people around you, no matter how small or how big the impact may be, this is the perfect way for you to do so. And in conjunction with the solutions challenge, what we plan to do during our term as well is some preparatory workshops and stuff to prepare you better for the solutions challenge, because we believe that it is really beneficial for like Sunway University especially, to send as many teams as we can so that we can have that experience. We can pretty much make our mark in that world, and this is the perfect opportunity to do so. All right, we can move next. So how do you join us? It's literally as easy as 1, 2, 3, like literally. So most of you already have joined us because you have to visit our page over here to to like join the event we are. But for those who hasn't joined us, or like because this is recorded, maybe some people like want to share some recordings with their friends. So basically, you can visit that link you see on the screen now, and yeah, Marcus very kindly shared it in the chat. And then you click the join us button, which you can see like if the Sunway University picture, and there, it's done. You have joined part of the GDSC Sunway University chapter, and you'll be getting emails regarding updates of any events that we have. And yeah, pretty much you are in the loop of how you're gonna keep up to date with what we do already. And Marcus, if you can go next, there's like a visual aid. So yeah, once you go to the page, you'll see the really beautiful the picture of the Sunway campus there. And right below it, there's the big blue button that says join. And if you joined already, it will say that you already have joined this chapter. So if you haven't yet, please do join us and keep up to date with keep up to date with what we do. So I think Eason just asked a question. Can we join with any email account? I'm not sure about any email account, but I know any Gmail account you'll be able to join it as long as you create a profile in the GDSC. So if I'm not mistaken, every Gmail account, but I'm not so sure if it's like your student account, whether you can create it or not. I haven't checked that, but if anybody knows, we can get back to you regarding that. But it's okay, use your Gmail. I think everybody has a Gmail already. All right, next, Marcus.
Okay, just to add on, right, before we move on, something to also clarify is at the moment, our membership model is actually separated from SDC, which means that you have to join both separately. So if you want to join SDC, you have to join SDC. And if you want to join GDSC, you have to join GDSC. So it doesn't overlap. Joining SDC does not mean that you have joined GDSC and vice versa. So do take note of that. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much what Marcus said. So for now, we have a sort of that separate membership because we, as much as we can, don't want to make GDSCs a paid entry because it very much goes against what about. So we have sort of this separate entry system, and we hope you guys understand. But yeah, it's really as simple as 1, 2, 3 as presented, and yeah, we hope you guys will be able to join us within the next few seconds. All right. So yes, now that we've done with our presentation, we want to get you guys. We don't want this to just be a one-way traffic. So now we're gonna have our engagement session where we'll be asking you a few questions, and also we'll be opening up for Q&A session as well. So with that, I think I will start sharing my screen now. All right. Hello, hello. All right. So hello, people. So how we're going to do this for our engagement session is we're going to have a Slido. So you can scan the QR code over there to join it on your phone, but I'm going to send the link to the Slido right now if you want to join it on your computer. So yeah, all of this is pretty much anonymous. So all your answers will be anonymous. You can give all of your honest answer feedback and don't be afraid of being judged. So yeah, it's over here right now, and I think I'll start with the first question. So yeah, those of you who want to start joining, you can click on the link or scan the QR code. And yeah, we're just interested to know which Google developer technology are you most interested in learning? So from the 12 that was presented just now, I know it's a bit hard to remember all 12, but I think the easiest way to go about it is which text stands out to you the most, and I think we can go from there. All right, so all right, for now we have Tensorflow being one of the main ones that people want to learn, as well as Flutter. All right, we have quite a lot for Tensorflow, Flutter. Oh, okay, I see. A lot of very similar ones. I think we can sort of see where our audience slowly wants to go. The biggest one is Tensorflow, followed by Flutter, because I think people want to learn more about that mobile development, which we hardly learn in uni. So I think that's understandable. All right, so keep it coming, guys. And Google Cloud as well. Okay, so if from looking at this, if I were to sum it all up, the top 3 things that you guys want to see is firstly something to do within the realms of AI and machine learning. Secondly is mobile development, because I see a lot of Android as well as Flutter and Firebase as well, I think. Yeah, Firebase. And also a lot of people seem to be interested in GCP, so the Google Cloud Platform, so cloud computing. I think that is a very interesting realm to delve deeper into as well. So yeah, I think thank you for sharing this with us. This is very important information and data to us. So I think moving forward, our core team knows which areas to focus on. I see. React Native is sadly not a Google developer technology, but maybe this is another plug to STC because we're still part of STC. Maybe STC can do that in the future. All right, so let's move on to the second question. So this is a open text question, so you can just explain to us however you like. So what is your current experience with Google developer technologies? None. Okay. Firebase. No experience. Oh wow. Okay. Beginner level Firebase. I think Firebase could be because of the Firebase workshop we had. 3 years with cloud. Nice. Okay. All right. So from the comments that we have, a lot of myself included, a lot of us are quite new to Google developer technologies, and I think from this we know that we can take a more beginner approach and learn slowly together. And I think it's a very exciting time for us to learn together. And I think a lot of you will appreciate the different workshops we'll slowly have moving forward. But yeah, great to see that someone here is really looking forward to learn this. But yeah, so this is the reason why we are here. So a lot of these are technologies, and this is something we want to change, and this is something we want all of you guys to learn, so you have that little bit of new stuff under your tool belt. And yeah, like Marcus said, it puts you a bit ahead of your peers. And you know, we're all mostly, I guess, like Asian here. We all have that competitive Asian spirit. All right, so the last engagement question I have for you guys is, what type of event would you like to see next from us? So from the different types of events, you can see which one will you guys be most interested in seeing? All right, study jams. Or, oh, a lot of hands-on workshops. I see. All right, hands-on workshops pretty much in the lead right now with 50% of the votes. And none for speaker sessions. Okay, I see. I think a lot of us are looking for that practical approach to learning, which I totally understand. And yeah, we can. Oh, okay, we got maybe one vote. Yeah, one vote for speaker session. But yes, I think a lot of us are looking for that practical aspect and practical approach to learning. And I think that is something we definitely can provide to you guys, because we have the resources, and we want to share it with you guys as well. There's no point for us keeping it to ourselves. So do look forward to hands-on workshops in the future, because that's definitely what you guys want from the 33 of you who have responded to this. All right. So I think, Marcus, do you think shall we continue on the Q&A session on Slido, because we can keep the archive there actually, or do we want?
Yeah, I guess we can also. Yeah, I guess we can just follow up with Slido. It doesn't
Alright.
matter too much like which platform we want.
All right. So now we move on to the general Q&A. So you guys can start asking your questions, and they'll pop out here. And yeah, we can pretty much see them all together. And do keep any questions coming, like any questions for us if you have any concerns, any ideas you want to share with us, anything you'd like to clarify. Cool shirt when. All right, Marcus, do we have any plans for merch?
Not yet, not yet. Maybe we'll do something like that in the future. No promises though, but yeah, I agree. Google Swag is very cool.
It is very cool.
Right, you just having like some like developer swag, whether it's some stickers or shirts or maybe even bags. Yeah, that's something that is not out of the realm of possibility. Yeah, but we'll see how first lah.
Mhm. All right, we have another question. Is the GDSC membership only for Sunway students or other university students? Well,
Okay, so I guess this is also similar to the third question on the screen. GDSC membership is actually open to public, which means that you are not limited to only the chapter on your campus. If you don't have a chapter on your campus, you can even join other chapters in other campuses nearby. So it is open to public. You don't have to be a Sunway student. You can be some other university student like Monash, or you can even be a working adult who's not even a student anymore. We welcome everyone. Yeah.
all right. But I have something to interject in as well. Monash has their own GDSC as well. So, but if you want to, let's go. No, but
Yeah.
it's not really a competition. But yeah, Monash does have their own GDSC if you're not aware. So maybe you can take a look at them as well. And yeah, as for STC, it's a bit hard to say. So you can join STC, but you will not be officially recognized under Student Life as an STC member. So maybe a bit of a problem. So do with that. You will see like it's open for everyone.
Mm.
All right. So what is the first tool you would recommend for beginners to start with? I think Marcus, you want to take this?
Sure. So I think this is very subjective because if you notice, right, all of the Google tools that we have shared just now, like 12 of them, is a lot. But all of them, right, they actually have very different use cases. So they are quite unique in each sense. So it really depends on what you want to do. If you want to do something like mobile app development, then you'll want to start with the mobile app technologies. For example, Android and Flutter would be your best bet. And if you want to do, like, if you want to venture into cloud computing, then obviously GCP is the platform for you to learn. So it depends on what you want to do, what you want to achieve in your project. Then only you determine like which technology fits your use case, and then you can start with them. Yeah, hopefully that answers your question.
All right. How to join our team? I think this is an interesting question. But yeah, Marcus, SRE.
Okay, I see a follow-up question from Ethan in the chat, right? Which is what if it depends on difficulty level? If you want to talk about technologies based on difficulty, then obviously the artificial intelligence, machine learning stuff is going to be a bit more difficult than just software development. I think software development in general is very easy to get into. So you just have to like learn a programming language and then learn how the framework operates, and you can just write a bunch of code and get your app or website start running. But if you want to do something like cloud computing, you will need a lot of not a lot, but at least the basic knowledge about IT infrastructure. For example, subjects like operating system fundamentals or computer networks can actually help you because you will understand all the different aspects of hosting your server in the cloud. And for machine learning, artificial intelligence, deep learning, those concepts are, I would say, a bit more difficult compared to what development, like general development stuff, because there's a lot of science to it. There's a lot of maths to it as well, statistics, data analytics and stuff like that. So you definitely need to put in more effort to be able to pick them up. Yeah, but still don't be discouraged, like just now I mentioned one of the story, right, where a lead is a complete beginner in machine learning, then 1 year later she became a Tensorflow certified instructor. So there's no stopping you if you want to dive into the deep end. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah. Next, we have someone asking, and how to join the core team.
How to join the core team? Okay, this is a very tricky question to answer. Um, so I guess the core team is basically the committees of like this GDSC program, and as mentioned earlier, we are still under Sunway Tech Club as a division. So that means that if you want to become the core team, you will have to become a Sunway Tech Club committee first. Then if you perform well in Sunway Tech Club as a committee, then you can join the core team. Yeah. So it's actually a two-step recruitment process. So if you want to get started, then that will be just joining STC as a committee first. Then once you're more comfortable and you're interested to help out with the GDSC program, then you can join the division of GDSC core team members within STC. So as for recruitment wise, STC's recruitment is probably somewhere around next year, early next year. So it's a little bit long. So hopefully by the time then you're still in Sunway, haven't graduated
Yeah.
yet, then you might potentially look out for our social media posts on STC. Then you can try your luck and become an STC committee first. Then again, going into the core team later.
So I think we are running a bit short. I think we'll take a few more. I think.
I think I'll just try to speed run the questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Of course, I think Marcus and I are both studying computers.
Yep. Computer
Right,
science.
How do I join STC? Basically, you keep in touch with us on our social media. Tell us your intention to join, and we'll have someone who help you out throughout the process, from like payment, membership fees, and you joining our Discord to all that. Someone will keep in touch with you. So yeah, we'll share our like after this, the site you know where to follow us. All right. So how often is GDSC connected to Google stuff? Marcus, would you say everything we do?
Yeah, I guess we are quite connected because again we are sort of like under the Google developer ecosystem. For the core team and myself, we do interact with the program managers, and we liaise with them for different kinds of like events and stuff like that. So in general, we do have a connection to them, and we also want to try to expand this connection to not just us, but to you guys as well. Yeah. Okay, this one cannot answer. This one,
Yeah.
This is a bit of a conflict of interest.
Yeah.
But I think if you have the time, you should check out both. The GDSC Monash is also a very nice person, and I think she's gonna do a great job in her chapter as well. So yeah, just check out both. Do you have any? Okay, let me see.
Okay, I think this is a good question. Yeah, you get started before attending the that we have in the future.
I guess if you do have time, you can always try to explore the Google developer technologies, as at least in theory, like just now what I showed you, right? There's a lot of Google tech. There's a lot of maybe new concepts and keywords that you might not have seen before. So it's good to have exposure to them and know that these things exist and you have a general idea of what they do. Yeah, but otherwise it's also completely fine because our GDSC sessions will probably be very tailored to beginners, and that means you don't need to have any prerequisites. Yeah.
All right, I think this will take the take 3 more questions. I think the one we should tackle first is this one with the most number of likes. Will you get notified of GDSC events via email once you've joined as a member?
Yes, after you join as a member, you will get an email saying that you have joined the chapter, but it doesn't come immediately. It comes about like 5 to 10 minutes later. So just be a little patience.
Yeah. So you will be in touch with what we do once you've joined us. All right. So I think we'll these two, since I think we can take these 4 actually. They all seem quite good. So this one has the 2 likes. Can I do ML if PC a bit cha-cha?
I think it depends on how much data you're dealing with and like how much training basically you're doing. So I'm not too sure also, because personally I am sort of still exploring ML, but I guess if you have a smaller data set, you probably don't need too much processing power. Yeah.
And I think one thing to explore is the Google Collab. I'm not sure if you guys heard about it, but I think you process your stuff on the cloud rather when locally on like the resource, rather than using the local resources by your PC or your laptop. It runs your code like virtually on the cloud. So I think that's something you could look forward to if your PC is very like slow and like that. But I'm not too sure. Do not quote me on that. All right, and I think this one is the next one. Any physical events by GDSC in the near future?
Any physical events, that will depend on the pandemic. As of now, we haven't obtained the green light to organize any physical events yet. But when the pandemic situation is a bit more stable, which is currently stabilizing, which is a nice thing, then definitely we'll go back to physical events because it's much more fun than just sitting behind the screen here. Yeah.
And I think 2 questions we'll take is this one. So does someone have a chance to organize workshops or events for GDSC if they join?
Okay, so for this, right, we actually do take in event volunteers from the chapter members, but it will depend on the scale of the event. So if the event is larger, we need more manpower beyond our core team, then we might open up a couple of spots for event volunteers to come and help out on that day. Yeah. So there is a possible door that we can open to get event volunteers.
Yeah. I think the last one is, can students from other universities join the core team?
Unfortunately, no. The core team is only limited to members of the chapter's institution, which is in our case Sunway University students. Yeah.
All right. I think, sorry, we can't like attend to all the questions, but
Yeah,
I think
maybe I can answer the second one, which is the last one. The other 3 is not too relevant. But the GDSC club, basically, it's very hard to say because our community is very integrated with STC. So if you look at it from STC perspective, we have a very big community. If you look at it at just GDSC perspective, maybe not as large, but obviously we are trying to grow it alongside you guys. So hopefully it gets bigger over time. Maybe not until Jack's level with 1,600 students in 6 months. That's like god tier stuff. But we'll see how we can continue to grow our community. Maybe open a Discord server potentially. Yeah.
All right. And I think now before we wrap up, it would be nice if all of you here can turn on your videos, and we can take a group photo.
Okay, for this we have to do a workaround because we are using the Bevy virtual platform, which is Google Developer, like the platform that's suggested for Google Developer community groups. So we'll actually have to give you guys presenter mode manually. Yeah, which is very funny.
Oh, no.
So if you want to like take a group photo with us, you can just say, maybe you can put a 1 in the chat, and then we will give you the presenter mode so you can on your camera. Yeah, which is quite funny.
Alright, let me just all right. Oh, quite a
So
few
just bear
people
with
actually.
us. Yeah, hopefully it doesn't obstruct us too much lah. But once we give you guys presenter mode, you guys should be able to turn on your cameras as well. Yeah, I can see someone coming into the frame already.
Yay! Oh, quite a number of people connected on camera. That's nice. We're not alone.
We assign the presenter roles to everyone. Okay, if let's say there is a little bit of delay, right? Then, okay, seems like it's coming out. Okay, more frames are coming out. I'm not too sure how much people we can take in actually at one time, because this is kind of like our first time using this platform.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello, Yitmik.
Okay, you can see 6 people here.
Oh, Joshua.
7.
Joshua's joining.
Oh, there's more
Ryan is
people
joining.
coming in
Oh,
here.
I think there's more people coming. Let's go.
Yeah. What happened? Yeah. Okay, anyone here that has not obtained presenter mode yet? After putting 1, maybe you can put a 2 in the chat. If let's say you still can't present, this platform really doesn't like my camera.
Yeah.
Okay, Wen Yi Hing. Let's see.
All
Okay, I
right.
think we should be able to gain access now. Yep. So if there's anyone else who wants to turn on their camera for a group photo and has not obtained presenter mode, just type a 2 in the chat.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we will proceed with the group photo very soon. My camera isn't working. No webcam. Okay, no worries if you don't have a webcam. There's always more sessions in the future, and physical events definitely isn't a problem for pictures.
Yeah.
I think for camera issue, if you can try to select whether you can select like the right camera or not. So beside the stop video or start video button, there's an arrow that you can click where you can select your camera. Yeah, otherwise you might want to make sure that you are not using your camera in other applications. So you can't turn on your camera if another app like Google Meet is already using it. Yeah. But otherwise, I think it's not too much of an issue also lah. So if let's say you can try, then you can try. Otherwise, doesn't matter. There's always more opportunities for group photo sessions. And I think we can start taking a group photo very soon. Very sorry for the for the logistical issue that we have here. Yeah, maybe for like future larger events, we might use a different platform lah. Yeah, for larger events.
That's okay. We live in a good.
Anyone else still trying to turn on their webcam still have issues on? Otherwise, we can just take the group photo lah.
I think we can already.
No. So I'll just count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So No one is on the web camera already. Yeah, oh, sorry, I was counting down for the camera turning on, not the group photo.
Oh my
yeah,
God.
yeah. Okay, now only we take the actual group photo.
Doing the
Okay.
GDSC logo.
Yeah, let me do a couple of print screens. Yeah, you guys can do the GDSC logo also. But since I'm taking the screenshot, I can't really do the logo lah. Maybe I'll just do like half. 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, let me save this.
All right.
Then maybe we'll take one final one. Okay, so second round and the last round. 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, then let me just save this on my Microsoft Paint once more. And we are good to go. So the group photos, we will be also uploading them to our event page. So the event page that you guys use to register, right? After we wrap up the event, the photos will be up there. Yep. So yeah, back to you, Ben.
All right.
Thank you everyone for on your cameras.
Basically, just one very small thing we want to share next is basically just this. So we really appreciate if you guys can follow us and keep up with us on social media. So for now, besides our GDSC page, most of our most of our promotional materials will be on the SDC social media, but there might be a change in the future, and we will let you know if there is a case. If like GDSC has our own page, but for now it's still under SDC, under Sunway Tech Club. So basically, if you go on any social media and just type in Sunway Tech Club, you'll be able to find us. But yeah, if you want the direct links, hopefully someone can share it in the chat. And yeah, we really appreciate it if you guys could follow us and just keep up with GDSC, but with SDC as well, because we do have a lot of exciting stuff over there as well. And if you guys are interested in GDSC, I think there's some stuff in SDC you guys will enjoy as well. So yeah, thank you guys so much. Yeah, basically just type in SDC anywhere and you'll be able to find us. But yeah, I think before I end, I think
You can see Joshua posting the messages links in the chat. Thank you so much, Joshua. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
But just one last thing for me is so if you are again an active member of SDC, usually we will collect your feedback during the session. But for GDSC, they have the feedback forms automatically sent to you after the event ends. So I know it's really hard to get people to fill in the feedback form after the event. So really hope that you guys can spare a bit of time to fill in the feedback form. It's actually very short, I promise. And do let us know what you can do better moving forward so we can continue to serve you with quality Google events.
Yep. Please do help us. Yeah. In the lecturer evaluation. That we can guarantee. But yeah, I think we can wrap up around here. So yeah, thank you guys so much. And I will have to take my leave now. But I will see you guys very, very soon. Thank you all.
Thank you so much everyone for joining. Really appreciate you guys on a Saturday night. Again, hope to see you guys in our future events. Stay tuned. Follow our SDC social medias for now. If we do open up more social media or community groups, we will let you know through email. So yeah, thank you so much.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.